Second section. Question. Why were you divested of all metals when made a Mason? Answer. For the reason, first, that I should carry nothing offensive or defensive into the lodge. Second, at the building of King Solomon's temple, there was not heard the sound of an axe, hammer, or any tool of iron. Question. How could a building of that stupendous magnitude be erected without the aid of some iron tool? Answer. Because the stones were hewed, squared, and numbered at the quarries where they were raised. The trees felled and prepared in the forests of Lebanon, carried by sea in floats to Joppa, and from thence by land to Jerusalem, where they were set up with wooden walls, prepared for that purpose. And, when the building was completed, its several parts fitted with such exact nicety, that it had more the resemblance of the handiworkmanship of the supreme architect of the universe than of that of human hands. Question. Why were you neither naked nor clothed? Answer. Because Masonry regards no one for his worldly wealth or honors. It is the internal, and not the external qualifications of a man that should recommend him to be made a Mason. Question. Why were you neither barefoot nor shod? Answer. It was in conformity to an ancient Israelitish custom. We read in the book of Ruth, that it was their manner of changing and redeeming. And to confirm all things, a mason plucked off his shoe and gave it to his neighbor, and that was testimony in Israel. This then we do in confirmation of a token, and as a pledge of our fidelity, thereby signifying that we will renounce our own will in all things, and become obedient to the laws of our ancient institution. Question. Why were you hoodwinked, and a cable tow put about your neck? Answer. For the reason, first, as I was then in darkness, so I should keep the whole world in darkness so far as it related to the secrets of Freemasonry. Secondly, in case I had not submitted to the manner and mode of my initiation, that I might have been led out of the lodge, without seeing the form and beauty thereof. Question. Why were you caused to give 3 distinct knocks? Answer. To alarm the lodge, and inform the worshipful master that I was prepared for Masonry, and, in accordance to our ancient custom, that I should ask. Ask, and ye shall receive. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Question. How did you apply this to your then situation in Masonry? Answer. I asked the recommendation of a friend to become a Mason. Through his recommendation I sought admission. I knocked at the door of the lodge and it was opened unto me. Question. Why were you received on the point of a sharp instrument pressing your naked left breast? Answer. As that was an instrument of torture to my flesh, so might the recollection of it be to my conscience, should I ever presume to reveal the secrets of Freemasonry. Question. Why were you caused to kneel and attend at prayer? Answer. Because no man should ever enter upon a great and important undertaking without first imploring the blessings of deity. Question. Why were you asked in whom you put your trust? Answer. Because, agreeably to our most ancient institution, no atheist could be made a Mason. It was therefore necessary that I should put my trust in deity, or no oath would have been considered binding among Masons. Question. Why were you taken by the right hand, ordered to arise, follow your conductor, and fear no danger? Answer. It was to assure me, as I could not foresee nor avoid danger, that I was in the hands of a true and trusty friend, in whose fidelity I might with safety confide. Question. Why were you conducted once around the lodge? Answer. That the brethren might see that I was duly and truly prepared. Question. Why were you caused to meet with the several obstructions on your passage? Answer. Because there were guards placed at the south, west, and east gates of the courts of King Solomon's temple, to see that none passed or passed but such as were duly and truly prepared and had permission. It was therefore necessary that I should meet with these several obstructions, that I might be duly examined before I could be made a Mason. Question. Why were you caused to kneel on your naked left knee? Answer. Because the left side is considered to be the weakest part of man. It was therefore to show that it was the weaker part of Masonry I was then entering upon, being that of an entered apprentice. Question. Why were you caused to rest your right hand on the Holy Bible, square, and compasses? Answer. Because the right hand was supposed by our ancient brethren to be the seat of fidelity, and so they worshipped deity under the name of Fides, which was supposed to be represented by the right hands joined, and by two human figures holding each other by the right hand. The right hand, therefore, we Masonically use to signify in the strongest manner possible the sincerity of our intentions in the business in which we are engaged. Question. Why were you presented with a lambskin or white linen apron, which is the badge of a Mason? Answer. Because the lamb, in all ages, has been deemed an emblem of innocence. He, therefore, who wears the lambskin as a badge of a Mason is thereby continually reminded of that purity of life and conduct which is essentially necessary to his gaining admission into that celestial lodge above, where the Supreme Architect of the universe presides. Question. Why were you requested to deposit something of a metallic kind? Answer. To remind me of my extremely poor and penniless state, and that, should I ever meet with a friend, more especially with a brother, in like destitute circumstances, I should contribute as liberally to his relief as his circumstances demanded, without any material injury to myself. Question. Why were you conducted to the northeast corner of the lodge, as the youngest entered apprentice, and there caused to stand upright like a man, your feet forming a square, receiving at the same time a solemn charge ever to walk and act uprightly before God and man? Answer. Because the first stone of a building is usually laid in the northeast corner. I was therefore placed there to receive my first instructions where to build my future Masonic and moral edifice. This concludes the second section of the third degree lecture. Join us next week for part 3.